So do you find that there's something missing in that quest? Because the next big question I get is, what exactly is this truth that he's talking about?
So it's crucial to begin with those things that are most acute in someone's life. So wherever one wants to go, he or she can only go there from where they currently are. So the most practical things that are happening in one's life, be it conflict with others, or be it anxiety or depression or whatever it is, that's where we must begin. And so the exploration is not about how do we lessen your anxiety. The exploration is not about these are the things that you can do to make yourself feel better. I have no interest in making anybody feel better. I couldn't care less if you felt better. That is not what I'm here to do. Because I know for a fact that whenever you feel better, sooner or later you're going to feel worse again. That's all part of the same game. That isn't a game I'm interested in playing. So the exploration of the truth comes in when you begin to dive deep into the very source and the very root, the unimaginable root of where those anxieties really come from, without any expressed intent of trying to lessen their anxiety. And that is fundamentally, wildly different from what anyone is used to. That isn't the world that we live in.
Can you give me an example of somebody's truth that you worked with?
For instance, this is an example I give in the book, and it's a common example. It happens with many, many people. And it's, if someone is angry at you and they slander you, the natural human reaction is to get upset. And the natural prescription is don't get upset. It's not what they say, it's how you react.
It's not personal. It's not about you.
That's right. Take 5 deep breaths and take, this just drivel. I mean, it's almost shameful that people would, say these things. Okay. It really is, the question isn't, well, how do I not get upset? That isn't the question. The question is, why did the upsetness happen? Why? From where did it arise? And where that arises from is that when someone is slandered, a part of them begins to entertain the fact that they are, in fact, what the other person called them. So someone calls someone an idiot. Something inside the person begins to entertain the fact seriously that maybe you are an idiot. And then that creates self-conflict, because the other part of that person says, well, no, I'm not. And how can you, meaning himself, which is really a conversation against the mind, it's mind talking to mind, says, well, no, I'm not. And the other part of the person says, well, maybe you are. And that creates internal conflict. And then that internal conflict manifests itself as anger. Now, in order to prove that, if someone called you an
genius.
Elephant. No, same thing. Genius would cause self-conflict too, because a part of you would say, you're not a genius. Okay? So if someone called you an elephant, someone called you a horse, right? Said you're a horse. Well, you wouldn't really get angry, because there would be no part of you that would seriously entertain that you were a horse. And therefore, there would be no self-conflict. And all conflict is self-conflict. So that is a fundamentally different approach, because it gets down to the truth. It gets down to the source of where the upsetness, so to speak, arises, as opposed to playing the superficial and cosmetic game, which essentially perpetuates the problem. No one ever gets over anything by you saying it isn't about them, it isn't about you, it's about them. Don't take it personally. No one ever gets over. No one ever gets. That doesn't cure anybody. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this does. Okay, a constant revisiting of the source of one's problems eventually begins to create an understanding within a person, which begins to free him from the problems he's imprisoned to.